You can also use jQuery to traverse the DOM. So I have a little diagram here reminding you of how the DOM is set up. If you remember, everything is a node. And as far as terminology goes, from the current element, any element that is nested inside is a child. And from the current element, if that element is inside another one, the element that is one level up is the parent. So if we're looking at paragraph, one level up would be body is the parent, and then two levels up here is HTML, which is the grandparent. So any elements that are above the current one in the hierarchy are considered ancestors, and any elements that are below the current one are considered descendants. Elements that are at the same level are considered siblings. So H1 and UL are siblings of paragraph. The anchor is a child or a descendant of paragraph, and body is the parent or ancestor of paragraph. And so that is the terminology. And there are several different methods that you can use that kind of use that terminology. And to find the parent element of the current or targeted element, you can use the parent method, which gives you the direct parent. You can use parents with an S. That gives you basically all the ancestors, okay? The direct parent plus grandparent and all the other ones. And then you've got parents until. So it's going to give you the ancestors until you encounter a specific element, and then it's going to stop. And so this little example, aside.parent, is going to give you the direct parent of the aside element. This little example, we're targeting section, and it would return all of the div tags within the section element. This one is looking at span tags, and it would return the span tags that are inside UL, and it would style those tags differently, applying red and a bottom border. And you can actually see that one run over here. So we started here at span, and then we said we wanted the parents of UL, and apply red to that. And let's see, I think we have an article in here. No. So this one is basically would return all the ancestors between the article and the section elements. So assuming section is the innermost element, anything that's above section and below article would be returned. In this little example, all parent elements of span are going to be returned until the div is reached. And not only are they going to be returned, but they're going to be styled. And so, let's see. Gets over here. Yep, so you can see how it starts at span, and it's retrieving the parents until it reaches div. So li and ul are the two that it retrieves. So not only can you find the parents, you can also find children using the children method, and there's also a find method. Now we are going to be using find and filter later in the semester. but you can see that you have a selector.children, and then you give it some kind of criteria. You don't have to have criteria. So in this example, it's just going to return the children of section. So any elements that are inside the section element. This example is going to return children of the section element, but we're going to limit what is returned to paragraphs that have a class of content. So let's take a look at that one. So here we have class of first and a class of second. And here we're limiting to a class of first. So we're looking at div, the children of div. So here's div. So the children of div would be this paragraph and this paragraph. Okay, so there's two. And we're going to limit it to the first paragraph. And that one is going to end up getting recolored. And you can see that that is exactly what happened. The find method returns descended elements of the selected element. So you have a selector.find, and then you're going to specify the filter, which is what you want returned. Asterisk means everything. In this little example, it's only going to return span tags. We are going to be using this. We're going to be creating a page with a lot of content, and you're going to be able to basically select what you want to see. And this is the jQuery command that we're going to use to do that, or one of the many commands, I should say, because that's kind of a complicated example. To see it in the simplified version, if you come and take a look here. So we've got the div targeted. We're looking for the span class. And when we find it, we are going to recolor it. So here's div, and then we've got a couple different span classes. Okay, and you could try limiting this to first. I'm not sure how that would work, but we'll try it. And see, that one is now targeted. As far as going sideways in the DOM, when you go sideways, you are trying to access siblings. So obviously there is a sibling command, but you can use next or next all, next until, previous, previous all, or previous until. These kind of function the same as parent, parents, and parent until. Okay, so it's kind of the same concept. Here we're getting all siblings of div. Here we are limiting siblings to paragraphs. Here we are getting whatever sibling is next to the current active section. Here we're looking at a line that has a class of start, and we're getting the next element, and we are changing the color. So we have line with a class of start. I can see it's right here. Okay, we want the next element, so that would be this line, and we're going to change the color, and you can see that that's exactly what happened. So I will let you guys kind of play with the rest of these because they're very similar to the parent example that we already looked at. As far as filtering goes, it doesn't hurt to take a look at this now, but just keep in mind that we are going to be using this near the end of the semester. There's a couple of fairly complicated pages that we're going to be doing that involve filtering. So I put it in here just so you'd have a one-stop reference, but it is nothing that we're going to be using right now. So if you're curious about how it works, you certainly can go through these interactive examples, but we are going to kind of wait to play around with these until the end of the semester.